Welcome, everyone, to the AEW Control Center. I'm Tony Schiavone. Jen Decker will rejoin us in a couple of weeks. All right, the Death Triangle, the trio of the Bastard Pack and the Lucha Brothers, had their first match last week on Dynamite on TNT from Salt Lake City. And at the end of the bout, against Private Party and Joey Janela, things got out of hand.
Yeah, now they're trying to make a statement. I'm telling you, the Black Arrow is one of the most sensational, if not the most sensational finishing maneuver I've ever seen.
Oh, look at this. Just.
That's the Death Triangle right there.
Pac and Pentagon and Ray Phoenix just. Oh, but look at this. Best friends hit the ring.
All right, tonight live on TNT, a tag match. The Lucha Brothers, the Death Triangle, along with Pac, will meet Best Friends along with Orange Cassidy. Also last week during Dynamite, Christopher Daniels of SCU made this claim about the Dark Order.
Are you tired of being told you're a loser? Have you been waiting for a higher power to reveal themselves? Hi, I'm Christopher Daniels. You may remember me from such videos as Being the Elite and Chris Daniels Almost Dies. And today, I have a very important message for you. And that message is screw the Dark Order. When AEW started, the Dark Order had momentum on their side. They were undefeated, and they were poised for success. However, that all ended the night they stepped into the ring with Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky, otherwise known as SCU. So they created videos targeting the lost and the frustrated, and they introduced the Exalted One, a shadowy figure whose favor people would strive to gain as they followed the orders of Stu and Uno. The only ones who saw any success were Uno and Stu. And for all the time they spent trying to convince you that I was the Exalted One all along, that was all a lie. A smokescreen to hide the fact that Uno and Stu have no easy answers, and there is no Exalted One. Now I know what you're thinking. Screw the Dark Order. Christopher Daniels, how can you prove these bold accusations that you're making? Well, here's what I propose. I'm hereby challenging both Evil Uno and Stu Grayson to singles matches, wherever they choose, be it on Dynamite, on Dark, on pay-per-view, even in this parking lot. And when I beat you both, and no Exalted One comes to save the day, I'll have proven to the world Evil Uno and Stu Grayson are nothing more than sad, desperate men. Screw the Dark Order. They suck.
Regardless of the claims from Daniels that there is no Exalted One, we understand tonight, live on TNT, the long-awaited arrival of the Exalted One will finally take place. All right, last week, the rules of Blood and Guts were announced on TNT.
2 men enter the cage for 1 5-minute round. So you got 2 men in the ring for 5 minutes to start it all off. And then we have every 2 minutes, another wrestler will enter. And if, let's say, for example, that the Elite wins the tag match, they get the man advantage.
And they'll have that man advantage throughout the night.
And the match officially begins after all 10 men have entered the cage. The cage, how many tons? We're going to find that out. It's got a roof on it. It covers 2 rings. It's got 10 men in it. And the winning team is determined by making any opponent submit or surrender. No pinfalls, no countouts, no escape the cage. By God, it's by submission or surrender.
The Elite will collide with the Inner Circle in a gigantic tag match. The winning team will get the one-man advantage coming up at Blood and Guts. Last week, the Inner Circle had the upper hand. First of all, by attacking Nick Jackson of the Young Bucks backstage.
And by the way, you might be wondering where your brother Nick is at. Where's Nick Jackson? Well, we just ran into him in the hallway, and I think he's got a little bit of a headache. Oh, by the looks of things, maybe an entire body ache. You better call a doctor, or more importantly, come back here and pick up your trash.
And later at the end of Dynamite, the Inner Circle was fully dominating the Elite.
And now, just right hands being delivered to the face.
Unprotected right hands. Hey, wait, there's Kenny Omega.
Yeah, speaking of right hands, Kenny Omega with that cast.
Kenny Omega coming to fight for his brothers with a broken hand. And now the numbers games engulfs Kenny Omega.
Held out the Judas effect.
Cody's back.
Back from the hospital. And now, laying in shots on Hager and Jericho.
There's this crowd chanting for Cody. He's full of fire and heart.
Look at the viciousness. Oh, my God.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Good God, Jericho.
And he gets wiped out.
It's all about blood and guts. It's all about 5-on-5. But will there be 5 to challenge the Inner Circle?
So there you have it, fans. This and much more, including more on Blood and Guts. Now, that event was scheduled for the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey, March 25th. But because of COVID-19, we will now run Newark on July 22nd. How does that impact Blood and Guts? We'll have that information tonight. I'm Tony Schiavone. That's the Control Center for Wednesday, March 18th. See you tonight live on TNT.